Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout using the Roundabout Studio Calico June kit, and I decided to use some of those 6x12 papers that I had cut up. And what I'm going to do is instead of using a 6x6 pad, I figured I would make my own, and I just want to make 4 different quadrants. And that blue chevron from Basic Gray, I didn't have a big enough piece, so I had to cut into my second sheet. So I'm going to make every square 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then I'm going to take out my journaling pen, and I'm going to outline each square. So this is the 9th layout using the Roundabout kit, and it took me an hour and 11 minutes. And I tried to record this last night, and I babbled on for 20 minutes or 18 minutes, however long this video is, and when it finished it had tape for 52 seconds. So and then I had to leave for work. I was just cutting it down to the wire. I was hoping to get it done before I went to work, but so I just did a night shift, and I decided to do this before I go to bed. So hopefully that it'll be ready to upload before I go to work tonight. So now I'm not sure if I want to take those 4 pieces of paper and get them to meet in the middle and have a white border all the way around, or if I want sort of a white border around each. So while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to cut down the photos. And I had 2 photos that were sort of like the same place, except one I had kind of taken a picture of the name of the place, and then underneath I had taken a picture of them buying the tickets. And I figured that I could just cut it down and kind of make a block with all the pictures and make those 2 pictures kind of make it fit in the 6-inch of the vertical picture, if that makes any sense, so that I could have just one block of all the photos. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to mat all of this, and I decide to mat it on a black cardstock, and I'm just going to leave about an eighth of an inch border. I'm going to glue it down with my ATG, and then I'm going to cut around it. I knew that I wanted those 3 pictures to be together, and while I'm trying to figure out the layers and stuff, I didn't want to have to keep moving the papers around. And for the same reason, I'm going to decide right now whether or not I want the pages or the pattern paper together or apart, because again, I don't want to have to keep moving those, because I know there's not going to be layers underneath those 4 squares. So I figure, okay, well, let's just get them down so that they don't move around and become a distraction. So I decide that I'm going to put the 4 papers together, and then I have my pictures all together. So now I just have to worry about the layers. So I take a doily and I cut it in half. So that's where 2 of my embellishment clusters is going to be. I know I want to use those letters that we got in this month's kit, because I didn't get to use them enough yet. And every month I'm always working with the months before letters, because I keep forgetting to use the letters the month that we get them. So this month I want to make sure that I get these on as many layouts as I can, and then just kind of maybe supplement with the other letters from previous month. So I'm going to spell, basically this place was a mirror maze, and so that's just what I'm going to call it. And at first I think I'm going to use those mini market from October Afternoon sherbet, but then I find it's too small, so I'm going to figure out something else. I'm going to take this pattern paper, and I'm just going to cut or punch out a circle. There was so many square elements because the background is square. The pictures are on a rectangle base, so I want to have some other things that are not square or rectangle. So I'm looking for to to have some circle elements in there just to kind of soften it, or so it's not so so square. So I'm just going through my labels that I got printed at Staples, and I had a few questions about what paper do I select at Staples. And I do plan on doing a video, I just haven't had the chance. So you go to Staples online, and then you choose single-sided color, and that'll be 39 cents. And then coated two-sided gloss 80-pound cover, and that's 20 cents. So for one sheet, it's 50 cents. And it's glossy, so then it looks like, you know, a sheet of die cut that you would have bought from a scrapbooking store. So now I'm just going through and just picking out a whole bunch of stuff that coordinates with this page. It doesn't mean that I'm going to use it. I just want it there so that I have the options. So instead of having my whole scrapbook room as stuff that I have to look at, I narrow it down. I bring it down to, I have quite a bit, you know, a little cluster on top of my page, but at least it's not my whole scrapbook room. And then once I feel like I have enough, you know, to make clusters, then I stop, and then I just start adding stuff to the clusters. So at this point, I have no idea what I'm going to use. I'm going through my mind's eye sticker labels and just kind of picking those out, and I don't even end up using any of them. That's not true. I end up using the tiny word stickers from my mind's eye. And now I'm going to go through, a couple months ago, or maybe it was last month, we got, between all the kits, 3 of the basic gray packages, transparencies, and die cuts. And so I have them all in this little container, and I'm trying to use them up. So I'm going through them, almost every layout, and trying to figure out, you know, if I could use any of it on any layout, because there was a ton of stuff in each of the die cut packages. And I think I kept the packages, but I don't want to try to figure out what went in which package. So I'm just going to leave them in there and try to use them up that way. And eventually, when I get tired of, you know, going through them, I'll just put them in a baggie, and I'll put them with my stash and use them whenever. But for now, I don't mind going through them and trying to figure out, you know, if I could use some of the stuff. So at this point, I pull out the brads that we got in last month's kit, and they're from Vintage Bliss. And last month I forgot to use them, so this month I've been taking them out, and I have quite a bit of them used up. I don't think there's like maybe 10 brads left in the package, so I'm hoping to have them mostly used up before the end of this month. And I decided to use my favorite washi tape from Webster's Pages, Alison Kreft. So I'll be taking that out in a minute. So now I took out the basic gray letters that we got a couple months ago, maybe 3 months ago. And they're pink and cream. And I really like them. And of course, that month I forgot to use them. I don't even think I used them on one layout. But ever since then, I've had them right near where I work. And every time I have a page that kind of has a little bit of pink, I try to bring them in so that I can use them up. And when I did the recording yesterday, I was saying how much, the only thing I don't like about those letters is that you have to take them all out and every time, and you have to figure out whether or not you have enough letters. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an acetate, and I'm going to take some my this to that adhesive. I'm going to put some on the back of them, and I'm going to make my own alphabet sheet. And then I'll know exactly what I have, and I don't have to dig them out every time. So once I get it done, I'll show it in one of my videos. Now, as I was going through the letters, I didn't have an E. So what I decided to do was use an F, and then I cut a part of an exclamation, and I finished the E on the bottom, and then I took a Copic marker and kind of penned in so that the line was continuous. And now I'm going to pick up all those letters. And then after that, I think I'll be ready to, start gluing everything down. So it does take quite a bit of time every time to kind of, dig everything out, those letters, and put everything back. So I know it's going to be time consuming to put all those letters on the acetates, but I'll only have to do it once, and then I'll know exactly what letters, I'll basically make my own thicker sheet. So now I'm just going through the die cuts, and whichever die cut wasn't cut out, I just end up cutting it out. And even if I don't use it on this page, at least it'll be ready for the next time that, I might be using it. So some of the stuff were from this month's kit, and some of the stuff was from digital prints. And I'm at the point I don't know which digital print is with which month. I just have them all in, in an envelope, and I just dig them out whenever I work on a page. So now I know there's going to be 2 embellishment clusters, one underneath the photos, one above the photos, and I'm going to make the third one to the upper left. And I had used a tag on one of the layouts a few months, or a few layouts ago, I don't remember, and there was still the top of the tag that was left. I kept it and then decided to use it on this page. I'm going to put a label at the top, a circle that I had punched out a few layouts ago and didn't use up. It's pink with gray in the middle. And then I know I want to use one of those tabs because I want to put the date on it. And now I'm starting to look through those tiny stickers, and I'm going to decide on the teal ones. And I'm going to pick out 3 words, and the words are playful, remember, and happy. And I'm going to put them in each cluster. And I'm just going to use my EK Success powder tool. And basically it just has baby powder in the barrel part of it, and then you have a little brush, and it takes the stickiness away. So now I feel good with the amount of embellishments that I have. So I'm going to start gluing everything down, and I'm going to use my quick dry adhesive to glue down the doily, and it's just going to squirt out like a massive amount. So I'm just going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to scoop it up, and then I'm going to just kind of spread it out, and then I'm going to use that and put it on the second part of the doily, or the second doily. And then I'm going to start gluing the rest of everything down. So what I try to do is, for the embellishment clusters, I just try to make it so that it overlaps each other. So like the circle that I punched out, the heart overlaps that, and then the heart also overlaps the tag that I had cut apart, and then the little remember sticker overlaps the 3 of them, and then the brad is touching at least 2, so that it makes it so that it's sort of a flow, and that there's no gaps, because as soon as there's a gap, it kind of confuses the eye. And so I just tried to, that's basically the only thing that I kind of watch for, is to make sure that everything kind of overlaps each other. And I added my washi tape, and the thing that is different now, and it doesn't even show on the pictures in the layout, is that it goes beyond the pictures now. It goes beyond Crystal Caves. And if I said that before, it's because the recording stopped, and I don't know if I had set this part yet or not. So if I did, I apologize. So now I'm going to work on the bottom cluster, and one of the die cuts in the brads had this, die cut with the flowers, and it has a brad in the middle. So I'm going to add that. And again, I just make sure that everything kind of overlaps each other. And I'm going to add the brad to the second cluster. And now I'm going to work on that last cluster. And at this point, I believe everything is glued down. I'm going to look for some enamel dots. Oh, no, I guess I didn't work on the title. So you're going to see the word mirror, the M, the I, and the R is just kind of floating. And just before I did the voiceover, I was looking at it and going, it just looks like it's just kind of floating there. So that's when I added the extra tape. So I have to piece that E together. And I'm trying to see if I could use that last little metal thing that we had gotten last month, but I didn't find that it went with this page at all. So I just added a little bit of glue to that die cut because it was moving around. And now I'm going to look for some pink enamel dots. I'm going to add some to each cluster. And then I'm going to cover, I'm going to write the date in that little tab, and it just says May 2013. And then I'm going to cover my photos. I'm going to add some glimmer glaze, and glimmer glaze is from Tattered Angels. And I'm going to add a pink and a blue. And then I'm going to show you some close-ups, some still pictures. And if you want to see more still pictures, you can go to 2 Peas in a Bucket or Studio Calico and go in the members gallery. Look for Nicole Jones 911. Or you can join me on my Facebook group, and I'll have the link in the description. And we kind of share all our layouts there. So here are a few close-ups. And that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.